The Fulanis are saying that nobody can threaten them in this country called Nigeria. That as far as Nigeria is concerned, they are indigenous of the country and they have every right to do business, carry their cattle wherever they are. That if government can build roads, third roads for people that have cars, that government should also gazette grazing routes for their cows. That the only thing they know is cattle rearing, and nobody will ask them to change the way of their own lifestyle or culture because they want to assimilate into a westernized Nigeria. That nobody, let us listen together.
But to say that Fulani people, I want us to understand this thing very carefully, what I'm saying. To say that Fulani people will stop moving around with their cow, nobody in the world can stop it. Except, of course, the nuclear weapons in the world is what they are going to use to stop it. But according to the United Nations Declaration on the rights of indigenous people, it is illegal to do so. They have fundamental human right to move from one place to another by themselves and their properties. That is constitutional. Let us get that very clearly. And let nobody confound my statement with conjectures or their little form of thinking. Let us understand that. Now, can laws be made to stop open grazing? I am in support of it. You cannot go to everywhere and be grazing, eating people's crop, entering people, trespassing on people's land in the name of your culture. No. However, the federal government, the state government, and the local government have a responsibility to cater for the lifestyle of the Fulani people. Yes. Because the federal government is providing me and you with a third road. Now they are even making it concrete road for us to move ourselves and our properties. The person who wants to walk with his leg and with his cows, where is the road for him to follow? No, please tell me, that person doesn't have right. I have my cows. I want to take my cows from here to Lagos. That the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria allows me to do without infringing on other people's right. Where is the road for me to follow? Should I go on the highway and also be walking like that, or where should I follow? Please, somebody should help me answer. So this is the problem. This is the problem that I face when I hear people saying this is the 21st century. You cannot. For those who want to do ranching and who want to rear farm, I know there are people who have cows and they are not Fulani, and they are employing Fulani people to move about with their car. For them, there is an option of ranching. They can go into ranching, into whatever mode that is more sustainable and will reduce the movement of cows. It makes them fatter, make them better, for profit making and whatever. They can choose that as an option. They don't need to get Fulanis to be moving around. But as for the Fulani people, I'm emphasizing that want to move around with their cow, nobody can stop them. Because people like me will go to any land. Because once you start infringing on the right of Fulani people to move around, the next thing you come and say, me as a Nupe man will stop speaking Nupe because it's the 21st century. I cannot be speaking Nupe while English is the national language. You want to assimilate me into your westernization. No. It is gradual that it starts to happen. So I will not accept it. So that is my main problem.
Okay.
I want to make it clear. I don't support, let me just round it up with this. For those that have little brains, I don't support anybody entering into any person's farm, entering into anybody's land in the name of open grazing, in the name of feeding their cows. No. But I also feel that it is the responsibility of the government to provide a means by which a person that is desirous of moving from one place to another with his property, i.e., cows, they have to provide for them an avenue of living, because at the end of the day, Nigeria is an egalitarian society. Not only will providing a route for them allows them to live their life as they so wish, it will also afford the government an opportunity to know exactly where these people are, provide them with education, health services, and all other things that other Nigerians are also enjoying. Because these people refuse to sit down in one place does not mean they should be excluded, neglected, underserved, and treated as if they are sub-Nigerians. And other people, what baffles me is that other people with other tribes that are doing whatever they want to do are the ones sitting down and brainstorming on how to shape the life of Fulani people. Imagine, you are the one sitting down and brainstorming that this is the way Fulani people should live their life. They should stop living their life this way. I don't support criminality. When
All
someone
right.
enters another person's farm, it is a crime. When someone kills another person, it is a crime. I am not in support of it. When someone puts poison in his farm with the intention of killing another person's cow, it is also a crime. When
It is
someone,
not a crime.
Malam,
Good section of
Malam.
the
that's
constitution.
according to you. That's
Section of the
when
Like I said, please don't interrupt him. But Big Daddy, I think you already got a good portion of your submission in. So, guys, I know you want to ask questions. Please and please, I'm going to give everyone with their hands raised opportunity to ask questions. So, if you don't want to ask question now, please drop your hands. I know how you came, so if you like, raise up. I'm not using hands raised to call you to speak. So I only want to see those who want to ask Big Daddy question. A question. Please, you guys you should be the one to raise your hands. I've said it now. If you make submission when you are supposed to be asking question, I will stop you. But before then, personally, Big Daddy, I've heard you make this point before, and I thought it was very ridiculous, to be honest. Um, attributing the culture of a group, which is fine by the way, and saying that no one has the right to stop them from freely moving around on land that is not theirs. I honestly don't get it. But going by what you said, which I actually think you still contradicted yourself. Please guys, don't interrupt, please. Let me unmute. I actually feel like you contradicted yourself because you did say that governments have the right to enact open grazing laws. I guess maybe we should need to understand your own understanding of open grazing, because in my own understanding, it is basically the ability for farmers to take their cows to roam, roam around and just continue grazing without any fence or whatever. So this open grazing law obviously would have to require or would have to mandate farmers to keep their cows in a fenced area. Well, you can determine how big that area is. That's not the point. The point here is that it will be fenced. So, Big Daddy, maybe you can tell us, because I feel it contradicted each other. If
no, no,
hold
no,
on,
you
please, hold on,
didn't.
please. If your own view is that they have the right to move freely, as Nigerians, and constitutionally have the right to move freely and graze as they want. Yes, you have, you know, in on multiple occasions says that um, you don't agree with criminality. Fine, I'm not debating you on that. But if you said you recognize their right to roam freely, but still saying that they have the right to do, the government have the right to make laws on open grazing, don't you think that is contradictory? And if not, what exactly? Because you also said the government should have a measure to be able to, make sure that the rights, the cultural rights of these people are not infringed upon because of a particular law, right? So how this fine area, this gray area, to strike a balance, do you have ideas? Do you know the best way to strike that balance? Go on.
Thank you. You see, it is very complicated to you, but I will give you a simple logic to understand it. If A is equal to human being and B is equal to property, right? Let's now define what a property, a human being is different. A property can be livestock, car, lorry, sheep, right? Anything you can designate. If you have the right to move with you yourself and your car to any place that you want to move to or go to, then a person that has a cow has his right to move from one place to another with himself and his property to any place he wants to move. That's one. Now, if you have yourself, let's assume your property is your phone. If you have your phone in your pocket and you then enter another person's house, do you have right to do so? You don't. Even if you are sitting down in his house. Therefore, a person that is moving with his cow does not have the right to enter another person's farmland and consume whatever is there. It's crime. He's stealing another person's property. It's simple. It's simple and it's simple to
How
understand.
long
I
do you
don't know
want to
what is
give Big
complicated here.
Daddy time to cry? Our first
It's, please, I don't deal in
song.
genuine arguments. Please, I'm not trying anything. If your brain doesn't have the capacity to understand what I'm saying, just keep quiet and listen. Now, what I'm saying is open grazing is a situation where people roam around freely. If you don't know the definition, is when you roam around freely and you are able to enter anywhere and any place to graze. I am against it. That you cannot enter anywhere and any place to graze. But a place that is not owned by anybody, if you pass it, you don't destroy any person's property. Just like now, I'm walking on the street, I'm walking on the road, I'm not entering anybody's house. It's a road that has been designated by government for me to march and walk to wherever I want to walk on. I'm not infringing on anybody's right. So also can my cow come along with me without infringing on anybody's right. Let us understand this. It's simple argument. It's
Okay,
a
fair
simple
enough. So
argument.
are there any of those road, in Nigeria currently?
That is what the federal government of Nigeria must do a soul searching to ask itself. That are we providing a
No,
Nigeria
no, no,
where
no.
Fulani
Wait,
people
wait, wait.
no.
Hold on. Sorry, Big Daddy. I get that. The government needs to do a lot of things. We know. But based on your argument right now, because what we are saying is that people are currently roaming about to and trespassing on other people's properties, right? So my question here is that because for you to be holding these views, I believe that there must be already stated routes or places where these elders are already passing through, right? And it's not as if they are going or straying off. This is the argument. Are they sticking to these grazing routes, and not causing troubles in other places? Big Daddy.
You see, in Nigeria currently, there are places that have been designated grazing route, but they have not been gazetted. Only a few states have gazetted a lot of them, some just one, some a lot. But a lot of it has been overtaken by farms, you get. But whatever is happening, you get, it's not my argument now. My argument is this, that Fulani people have a right to exist, to continue their way of life. If we don't want them to move, what do you call it, on certain areas, we have to designate a place for them that they are going to move. Just like the government has used land in states to create highways for people, just as state government has used lands that are owned by other people, and the government has designated as a road to construct
Okay.
double
Sorry,
lane
Big Daddy.
highways.
Hold on.
The
Sorry,
same way,
sorry.
government should look inward and say, does Nigeria provide an accommodating environment for Fulani people to live and practice their
All
way
right.
of life?
All right.
That is the question.
Thank you. The, all right. So, guys, I'm not going to ask any question again, but let's get the hands to ask the question. So, I will start with, please, strictly questions. I beg. We want to move on from Big Daddy. All right, let's start. I'll get two questions and then Big Daddy will answer, and then we can move on from there. Big Daddy, please keep your answers short, by the way. All right, so Darren, ask your question. Ramsey, ask your question.
Okay. One, was there any pushback of the majority of the Nigerian people from the, movement of the Fulani people until there were clashes, like they like to say, between like the locals and the herdsmen that were consistently leading to majority of casualty on the part of the locals? That's my first question. The other question will be, if the Fulani man has a right, to protect his property, and the farmer has a right to protect his property as well, why would him, doing whatever he wants with his property and what's it called, a trespasser, on that property, getting whatever repercussions he gets? I mean, it's just like a thief coming into your house, whatever he sees, right? How does that become a crime? That I do whatever I want with my property, and then you chose to bring your property into mine, and then something happens to your property. How does that become a crime on my end? I want to understand those two.
Okay, let me, maybe, I think a lot of people don't understand. If you put poison in a cup in your room, right, with the intention, you have committed murder.
But the problem here is
Just
that
wait
these
now.
chemicals
Let me.
are
Just.
licensed
I'm not arguing.
herbicides.
I don't want to do back and forth, please.
No, no, no. Sorry. Like,
You
I'm
asked me a
providing
question and
context.
I'm
I'm providing
educating
context
you,
to my
answering you.
question.
Allow me to answer. Don't. I
I'm
don't want to do
providing
back and
context.
forth.
I'm providing
I'm not.
context to my question.
Don't contextualize. I understand you very well. I'm a Nigerian too. I know
If it
what
is
it is
if it
to be
is a
Nigerian.
licensed herbicide, how does that make it poison? Because your interpretation is poison, but I, sprayed licensed herbicide on my property. Licensed herbicide.
If again, for the example you gave before, if a person comes to your house with gun or cutlass and you overpower the person, you collect the cutlass from him or the gun from him, and instead of you to send that person away, you decide to shoot him on his forehead, you have committed murder, because the danger to your life is no longer existing. Yes, immediately you collected that gun, there is no longer any danger to your life. You now have superior weapon to deter that person or send the car of another person, and so therefore you have committed crime. Law is not your sentiment; it is the facts that are being looked into. If you spray your farm and you went home, and coincidentally another person came with his cow, entered your farm, and ate the things in your farm, and then they die, intention wasn't there. They trespass your farm and they ate something harmful. And let me even tell you something. There is another argument to it. If it can kill a cow, it can kill a human being. If it can kill a cow, it can kill a human being. So therefore, you were not actually planning to eat that crop or sell it. Except you were also planning to kill human beings, which will be another intent to commit crime against humans that the court will charge you to. So let us understand that very carefully, and let us know what we are doing. Like I said to Deji, to enter another person's property is crime. Let's call it what it is. It is a crime. I don't support it. So let us define these things very simply, and we will have a very objective approach to it. Thank you.